These are 5 quality of life farms that will make your life so much easier. Better organization, easy loot, infinite XP, and more. You need to have all 5 of these farms in your world. As well, you can find the materials lists in the pinned comment, and if you want to download any of these worlds, you can find a link for that down in the description. With all that out of the way, let's start off with the fish farms, which are going to give you some insane loot like enchanted items, name tags, saddles, and so many other good things. And I mean, look at these. They literally take like 2 minutes to build. If you don't have a fish farm, you're missing out on so much easy loot. Now this design right here is fully automatic, but it does require an auto clicker, which means it's going to be PC only. This design over here is semi-automatic, but it can work on any device that you're playing on. So for the fully automatic design, the first thing you want to do is break 4 blocks in the ground. And then in the first 2 spots, place down a double chest. In the third spot, place down a hopper leading into that chest with a fence on top of it and then a pressure plate on top of that fence. Then take a bucket of water and place it on the fence and it should flow into that 4th hole. Then right behind that hole, you want to place down a note block with any solid block or transparent block, whatever you want, any type of block on top of there, with an iron trapdoor facing into the bottom of that block right there. And there you go. The whole thing is done. It's pretty simple. Now to use it, all you want to do is go over top of this chest right here. And you want to go as close to the water as possible without going into it like that. And then look at the bottom of this pressure plate and take your auto clicker. Now I'm using OP auto clicker. Set it to 1000 milliseconds or 1 second. And as well, make sure the mouse button is set to right. Then whenever you use that, it's going to cast the fishing rod. You're going to click the note block back there, and then it's going to run until it catches a fish. Then when that happens, the iron trapdoor is going to go down, the fish will go into the chest, and then you cast the fishing rod back again. Now for the semi-automatic design, start by placing down a chest, and then place down 2 trapdoors like that, 1 trapdoor right there, and then 2 more like that, and open all of them up so it makes a shape like this around the chest. Now in front of this chest, what you want to do is break 3 blocks right there, and then take that down 3 more blocks so you have a 3 by 4 deep hole. Then drop down inside of that hole and place down a double chest on the back half, so away from the chest. And then right underneath here, you want to place down a hopper, making sure it's leading into that chest. Then place a rail on top of it with a hopper minecart, and then break this rail. And if you can't break the rail, you might just want to break this chest first so you can go lower, and then you can break that rail. Break that down. Replace the chest, and then place down a sign on the same level as this hopper minecart right here. Now, what you want to do is build all the way back up to the top, just like that, and then take some ladders and place them back here so you can pretty easily get in and out from the chest area. Now, take a banner and place it on the front of the chest, take a lava bucket and place it right above that sign right there, and then take 2 buckets of water, placing 1 back there, and then crouching and placing 1 inside of that chest. Now for this design, all you have to do is throw the fishing rod into the banner, and there you go, it now falls into the water. The second you catch a fish, the rod is going to fall down into the lava, automatically be reeled back in so you can never miss a catch, and then all of the drops are going to go down inside of that chest. 2 very simple designs that I highly recommend you guys build. Moving on to the second quality of life farm that you need, it's the auto sorter. These things are so useful. Everybody hates coming home to cluttered, unorganized chests. And with this, it makes it so simple. All you have to do is put all of your items up here in this chest, and it's automatically going to be sorted between all of these, and all of the junk items are going to go into this chest at the end. Personally, I hate organizing my chests myself, so this is absolutely a must-have for me. And the best part is it's fully expandable too. You can have 2 chests, you can have 200 chests, whatever you want. So for this design, start off by placing down 1 double chest for every item you want to sort. So I'm going to sort 3 items, so I'll place down 3 double chests. Then coming to either one of these sides, doesn't matter which one, take a hopper and lead it into the corresponding chest, and repeat that for every chest that you have. And then break those 3 blocks right there. Now on the side of this block right here, not on the ground, but on the side, you want to place down a redstone torch like that. And then skip 1 block, break those 3 blocks right there, or again, however many chests you have. And then take your redstone repeaters and place them down here facing towards these hoppers and chests. Make sure they're facing in that direction. Now take your blocks, you want to place 3 of them behind that hopper, and then of course, once again, repeat that for every chest that you have. Come over to your hoppers right here, and then this first row of blocks, look in this direction and place down your redstone comparators, making sure that the 2 prongs are facing towards the hoppers. Then take another hopper and you want to place it into the side of the comparator. Make sure that you can see the prong like this, otherwise it's not going to work. And once again, repeat that for all of these. Now, once you're done with that, come to these blocks back here and you want to place down redstone on top of all of those, as well as redstone behind those blocks. So you should now have 3 redstone behind each one of your chests. Now we're going to make the junk chest where, if you put items into here and it doesn't fit into the sorting, it'll all filter into this final chest. So I'm going to put mine over here, place down a block with a chest right there. So that's going to be the junk chest. Now taking your final hoppers, what you want to do is take all of them, lead them into that chest over top of those, and then place one more chest on the opposite end all the way over here. Now, to use it, you want to empty all of your items into here, they'll get sorted here, and then the junk will go down into this chest. Now, let's say I wanted to sort diamonds, emeralds, and gold right here. To decide which chest is going to sort which item, go into the middle row of hoppers. So this one, take any filler block. This is going to be a block that will never go, that'll never go into this chest. Make sure you're not going to be sorting this item. So I'll use dirt, place it in those 4 spots, and then the item you want to sort into that right there. And this should tick down to 41 items. You then want to repeat that process for all of these, and there you go, you're now properly sorting all of your items. The only problem with this right now is we are keeping 41 items back here, which can be a lot. So if you want to have much less, what you can do is put 11 filler blocks back here instead of just 1, and that'll leave you with much less items in this hopper. Now, using it's very simple. All you need to do is unload all of your items into this top chest. Now, just giving this a second to work. All of the items that are supposed to be sorted are going into the proper chests, and anything that doesn't have a spot all properly goes into this junk chest at the end. Now, something that bothers me almost as much as having full chests is having to smelt items by myself, which is why a super smelter is equally as important for me. Literally, all you have to do is flick this lever right here, and all of the items that you want to smelt are evenly distributed into all of these furnaces. Then all of those items are picked up from these hoppers and all put down into this one chest right here. And just like the auto sorter, you can have 2 furnaces, you can have 200, literally whatever you want. Now for this farm, the first thing you want to do is place down a double chest, and this is where all of your smelted items are going to end up inside. Then place down 1 hopper leading into this chest for every furnace you want to have. So I'll have 3 furnaces, so I'm going to place down 3 hoppers. And then on top of those hoppers, you can shift and place down all of your furnaces. Now, coming on top of these guys, what you want to do is place another row of hoppers, making sure that each one is leading into the corresponding furnace. And then finally, one more time, you want to walk around here to the back and place 1 more hopper leading into all of those furnaces. Now, coming back over to your chest, either using glass or a stair, you want to place down 2 blocks over top of this, and the reason it has to be one of those 2 blocks is so you're still able to open it up. Now, coming to this side of the chest, place down 3 blocks up like that, with 2 more blocks on top of those glass, so it should now look like this. Now from here, what I'm going to have you guys do is come to the back of the farm and place 2 blocks off of those pieces of glass right there, so at the end of this hopper line, and then as well come over to this other side, and you want to place 2 more blocks on the end of both of those hoppers there. Now building up with a couple temporary blocks, place down 2 temporary blocks on the end of those solid ones, and then place 2 blocks on top of the temporaries, and then you can go ahead and break both of those. Now coming underneath of both of these blocks, so these 2 spots right here, what you want to do is take your redstone torches and place them underneath both of those, and that's going to light the powered rails, which is what we're going to place right now. So come on top of this contraption right here. And what you want to do is place down a powered rail on either the top or the bottom. So I'll start with the top. It should be powered, and then run regular rails all the way down until you get to this block right here, where you're going to want to place down another powered rail and then a solid block right on the end. Now we're going to do the exact same thing over here on this side. So coming down to here, place down a powered rail and it might connect, but it'll unconnect when you place down that regular rail. Continue it all the way down to the end, and then once again place down another powered one right there. Now hopping to the front of the farm, place down a lever just like that, And anytime you flick this lever, this will now activate both of those powered rails, and this is how you turn the farm on and off. Then coming down to this right here, make sure there's a block at the very end so the chest minecart has something to bounce off of. Which reminds me, the next thing we're going to do is place down both of our chest minecarts right there. Now, anytime we flick this lever, both of them are going to go back and forth, and then when we turn it off, the whole farm's going to stop. Now, the items you want to smelt are going to go into this chest up here, and the items that you're going to use for fuel, like coal, is going to go back here. Although if you don't want to always have to keep filling up this, what you can do is place down a hopper with a chest and then put your fuel up here, and that'll all be transported into that chest minecart. Either way though, all you have to do now is take the item you want to smelt, like I mentioned, putting it in that chest minecart right there, and then either in this top chest or just straight into that chest minecart, put your fuel. And there you go. Now whenever you flick this lever, all of these guys should be evenly distributed with all of the iron or whatever item you're smelting and the fuel. And then of course, once that's done smelting, it'll be picked up by these hoppers down here, and it'll all flow down into this one chest. Now moving on to the fourth quality of life farm, we have a villager breeder. Now these guys are so useful for things like iron farms, but also just general trading. And I swear I never have enough of them in my world, which is why this easy villager breeder is a must-have for me. And for real, it doesn't get much easier than this. You have 2 villagers in a box, you throw a bunch of bread, carrots, or potatoes at them, you wait a couple minutes, and there you go. You have a bunch of baby villagers down here. Now for this farm, the first thing I'm going to have you guys do is dig a 3x3 hole in the ground. And once you're done with that, take it down 1 more block, so it's 3x3 by 2 blocks deep. Then to any one of the 4 sides, doesn't matter which one, break one of the center blocks and then place down a bucket of water right there. Then on the complete opposite side, so right here, you want to break out 1, 2, and then 3 blocks, and the water should flow all the way here. Now coming back over to your 3x3 square, place down a temporary block on the side with a slab on the top half of this block, and then either a solid block or just 2 more slabs on top of that. Break that temporary block, and there you go. You should now have water flowing around in a circle all the way over to here, and then you should have 1 dry block. Now this is where the villagers are going to be sitting, the baby villagers. So what you can do is just make yourself a nice little area. It doesn't really matter how big this is. But there you go, baby villager section done. We're now going to work on the actual villager section. So coming back over to this area, place 2 temporary blocks up like that. And then you want to grab all of your beds, workstations, and pretty much everything we haven't used so far. Now I like to use glass, but it doesn't matter. You can use whatever block you want. On the second block up right here, place down 4 blocks in a circle. And this is where we're going to be trapping all of the villagers. I can't break that. There we go. So this is where we're going to be trapping all of the villagers later. But for now, what I'm going to have you guys do is place down a bunch of beds nearby this area. So what you need to do is place down 2 beds for the actual villagers. These 2 beds are going to be the villagers, along with 2 workstations for the villagers. Now what you need to do is place down 1 bed for every baby villager you want to be able to get. So let's say I want to get 4 baby villagers. I'm going to place down 4 more beds. And it doesn't really matter where you place them, just make sure it's somewhere near the actual farm. Now, one of the final steps to this is making sure that when the baby villagers spawn, they actually want to walk down. And to do that, what you want to do is place 4 trapdoors in a circle around this right here, and then open all of those up. And there you go. Now, when the baby villagers are born, or whatever you're going to say right there, they fall into the water and they flow down into your box. Now, the final step to this villager breeder is actually getting the villagers inside of here so we're able to breed them. So have your guys nearby the farm, doesn't really matter how close they are. What you do want to do is place down some temporary blocks leading up to the top of here, and then take some rails. This is the easiest way to get them inside. Take some rails and place them leading up to this hole, and then just have this track leading up to wherever you have them. Then I'm just going to break one of these fences and push the villager inside of that minecart. There you go. And now all you have to do is just push him over top of the hole. It's pretty simple. He's going to fall in. You can break the minecart if I can break it. There we go. And then repeat that process for the other villager. And perfect. There you go. Now that both villagers are inside of there, you can break your track and your villager breeder is done. Also, if you're worried about zombies killing your baby villagers, it's not a terrible idea to block this off just in case. Although I don't like how that looks, so I'm going to keep it fully open. Now to use the farm, all you need to do, like I mentioned at the beginning, is throw these guys either bread, carrots, or potatoes, doesn't really matter which one. Eventually you'll see some red hearts showing up and that means they're breeding. a baby villager will pop out, and then it'll be pushed all the way down into this area down here. The 5th quality of life farm, honestly the most important one in my opinion, is the XP farm. And I'm sure a lot of you know about this silverfish farm. It's so overpowered. I've had it on for literally 2 minutes and I'm already at 80 levels. It's very simple. There's a bunch of armadillo down there. They produce a ton of silverfish. They die to this trident killer, and there you go. Way too much XP comes flooding out of this farm. And if you're wondering, yes, this is physically the fastest XP farm in Minecraft Bedrock Edition. Now for this farm, the first thing I'm gonna have you guys do is find any spot and dig down 3 blocks. Now at the very bottom, place a piece of sand, and we need to place a cactus right here, but we can't. So what you're gonna do is break these 4 blocks around that piece of sand, and there you go, you can now place down your cactus. And then after that, place a composter on top of it. Now taking any type of block, although I'm gonna use glass so you can see inside, place 3 blocks like that, and then 2 more at the end so it looks like this. Now what we're gonna end up doing is getting a bunch of armadillos inside of this composter. They take damage to the cactus and they're gonna spawn a bunch of silverfish. However, we don't want the armadillos dying, and so what we do is put a zombie nearby so they curl up in their shell, and there you go, they can survive forever. So to get started with this, come to any area near the composter. I'm just gonna go right here, dig down 1, 2, 3 blocks, and we now need to get a zombie inside of this hole. Now what you wanna do is wait for it to turn nighttime and then get a zombie near this hole, punch him down inside, and then make sure to put a name tag on him, otherwise he's gonna despawn. And after you're done with that, cover him up and he's gonna stay in there forever. Anyways, there we go, zombie down there. We can now get all of our armadillo inside of this composter. Now I'm gonna put 4 of them, but you can do however many you want, and the more armadillos you have, the more efficient this farm is gonna be. But be careful, if you're on a slower device, it might lag out your game. I'd recommend only doing maybe 2 or 3. So taking those armadillos, you can see they're curled up in their shell because the zombie's nearby. What you want to do is take a bunch of rails and lead them all the way up to this composter. And it's very simple. Push one of these armadillos inside of there, push him over top of the composter, and then whenever you break that minecart, he should just fall down inside. Now he's taking damage to the cactus, but don't worry, he's never going to die because of that zombie. And there you go. You now want to repeat this process for every armadillo that you have. Now, once all of your armadillos are inside, you can go ahead and break all of your rails. Now, after you've gotten all of your armadillos inside of there, take a fence and place it down right there. And then take a trapdoor and you want to place it on top, facing in this direction, making sure that it opens up away from the area that we have here. Now, take a bucket of water and place it over top of them right there. And that should flow up to this block. And now once you have all of that done, take 9 blocks and place them in a 3x3 square on top of all of this. Now these can be any type of blocks that you want. However, make sure this block is solid. It cannot be a piece of glass. Now as well, going away from the trapdoor in either one of these 2 corners, you want to place down another block right there. Now on this other block, place down a lever, and then in front of that, place a comparator so the 2 prongs are facing into the lever and the 1 prong is facing away. And then you want to right click it so that redstone torch is on. Then place down 3 pieces of redstone right there and 1 on this block so it's facing into the trapdoor. And every time you flick this lever, it's how you turn the farm on and off. The trapdoor should look like this. And there you go, you can actually keep that off for now. Now the final thing you want to do is place down a block on top of that trapdoor, a temporary block, and then throw down a trident on this edge right here that is touching these blocks, making sure you throw it as far to that side as possible. And then break that temporary block and it should fall on top of your trap door. Now, whenever you flick this, there you go, your trident killer's done. All you need now is an infestation potion. And when you throw it onto those guys, a bunch of silverfish are going to start to spawn. And as you can see, a ton of XP is now coming flooding out of this farm. This XP farm is so overpowered, just like the farm that you're seeing on your screen right now. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. BlazedMC out.